Hey there, home buyers, and welcome back to Owning the Process, Home Buying in Southern California. I'm stoked to have you here as we dive into our first series focused on navigating a low inventory market like a pro. If you've been following my weekly posts on Instagram Reels and TikToks, you've already gained a ton of valuable tips. And today we are wrapping all of those insights into one power-packed YouTube video so you can reference all those strategies here for buying in this competitive market. In our first 4-week series, we explored how to own the home buying process by mastering 4 critical topics: pricing, days on market, casing properties, avoiding property condition concerns, and emotional decision making. So let's recap those key points now. In our first week, we discussed pricing and days on market. Median and average home prices are the two things that you typically hear about when you talk about pricing, and my definitions for the median and the average home price are super easy to understand. The median simply shows us where we have a concentration of buying activity, and the average shows us what one should expect to pay to get into a certain property type or market. And as you already know, we can definitely expect more buyer competition around the median versus the average. And the second thing that we dove into in regards to pricing was list to close delta. So when you're researching a specific market and hopefully a specific property profile, you will need to dig into pricing a little bit deeper. So what we need to do is we need to layer on the list to close delta for the median and average home price for closed sale. Usually we will see a nominal delta or a delta that is close to 0 when you're looking around the median. And we will see larger deltas around the average, meaning that negotiations are definitely taking place around the average, but not the median. So understanding this would suggest shopping for your property at or above the average home price or below the median for a stronger negotiating position in the deal. But now let's layer this up just a little bit more by taking a look at days on market. When we look at days on market, the data is very telling in terms of where we can find the best deal. My rule of thumb here is that if we have a home that's been on the market for at least 2 to 3 times the median days on market for closed sales, that is where we're going to find the best savings. To support this, recent data shows that 76% of listed properties that were on the market for more than 2 times the median days on market closed below asking price, where only 8% of properties that were on the market for less than 2 times the median days on market for closed sales closed for asking under price. Knowing how to interpret pricing data definitely gives you a competitive edge. So consider shopping around the average selling price for your desired home and look for properties that have been on the market for at least 2 times the median days on market for closed sales. Listen to the data. It will show you where to find the best deals, and we will call this the buy zone. In week 2, we spoke about casing properties, and this is when you find a property that is in the do not buy zone. The first thing that you want to do is connect with the listing agents and or homeowners. Be the first one to connect with the listing agent and build rapport right out of the gate. The main objective here is to really understand the seller's motivation for selling, as well as the agent's expectations for price and terms. If we can identify the seller's key priorities and know what is most important to them, you can be prepared to have all of these addressed in your offer. Are they looking for things like longer or shorter escrow periods? Is price important to them? Do they want to see a larger deposit? Do they want to see fewer contingencies? There are many ways to make your offer more attractive to the seller, and if you understand what's most important to them, you're definitely going to win. And as always, I suggest having a physical checklist of the things that you'd like to see and the things that you would like to not see in the next home, and understand what on your list is negotiable by your standards. Knowing what's most important to you and keeping that on a physical list in front of you will definitely keep you focused. And lastly, we want to make sure that we stay informed and engaged during the escrow period. Remember, we are casing property, so it's probable that we have not yet put in an offer, and this is where the relationship that we establish with the listing agent really comes in handy. You want to make sure that your agent is checking in with the listing agent on a weekly basis to see how their escrow is going. And we want to do this so they know that we're still interested in the property. And if at one of those check-ins, the listing agent even hints that they're having issues within their escrow, we can definitely slide in at that point with our offer because we'll be ready to go. And at this point, we are solving a problem for them because they are having to start back at square one. So remember, when you're shopping in the do not buy zone, casing properties can be a very powerful strategy. You first want to establish a connection with the listing agent and homeowners to learn about their priorities. Make sure you're using a physical checklist to stay focused, and then stay informed during their escrow process, because when there's a ton of competition for a property, some buyers let the emotions take them away, and we tend to see more contracts canceled and escrows that fall out. In week 3, we discussed property condition and as-is purchases. When it's a seller's market, it's definitely not uncommon to see properties listed as is or with explicit notes stating that the sellers will not be addressing any repairs. So I want to introduce 2 financing options to help us address the property condition concerns. So the first one we're going to talk about is the FHA 203K. So this one is backed by the Federal Housing Administration, and it allows borrowers to finance both the purchase and the renovation costs, and it can be used for a primary residence up to 4 total units. This is an excellent option for house hacking and forcing appreciation through renovations completed in the first year. The second loan option is the HomeStyle Loan program. So this loan program is offered by Fannie Mae, and just like the FHA 203K loan, it allows the borrower to finance both the purchase and the renovation costs, but this one can be used on primary or investment properties. So there is no reason to fear property condition, as with the FHA 203K and the HomeStyle loans. You can purchase that fixer-upper and renovate it to your liking all in one loan. And lastly, in week 4, we talked about the emotional roller coaster and decision making. So the first tip for managing emotions during the home buying process is setting realistic expectations. You need to understand the market and the fluidity of the process and consider the market conditions. When there's not very many options available out there, especially around the median, so it might take some time to find the right home. Next, you need to define your priorities. Remember what we spoke about. Have a physical checklist to keep you focused on what truly matters. Another thing that can help is getting pre-approved, specifically direct underwriting approval. This will strengthen your offer and give you an advantage in the bidding process because it shows that you have a financial profile that meets the underwriting requirements for securing a home loan. And with DU approval, they typically just need the property conditions to be cleared to secure full loan approval. And of course, working with an expert in the field can help you brace for impact and navigate the market's ups and downs, removing some of the emotional stress that you might feel during the home buying process. And lastly, you need to take breaks and practice self-care. Always ensure that you're focused on yourself and your health. If you ever feel that things are becoming a little too overwhelming, don't hesitate to step back, take a breather, and ensure that your head is in the right place and that you still have your priorities in line. Remember, when we're addressing emotional challenges, we need to stay grounded and focused, stick to the original criteria that you set out, avoid overextending yourself financially, and then just trust the process. Congratulations, you now have a toolkit of strategies for conquering the low inventory market in Southern California. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or an experienced homeowner, these tips are definitely going to help you navigate the process like a pro. Thank you all for joining me on this incredible journey. If you have any questions or need assistance in your home buying adventure, leave a comment, DM me. I'm here to help. Stay tuned for more Owning the Process home buying in Southern California every Tuesday on Instagram and TikTok. And remember, knowledge is power, but taking action with what you know is your key to success. So see you next time, and until then, keep smiling.